the unlikely event of a potato, watch carefully.
Speed. It's essential for going fast. Power. It's needed for speed. Without power, progress is hindered. Fourth gear power in the Rover 45. Feels a bit like second gear power in the petrol engine. The L series engine doesn't really have lots of power. In fact, 101 of them, not a lot. Without torque, the power wouldn't exist. Do you know the difference between torque and power? Well, I do, and I could explain it to you, but you'd get bored and I'd get confused. So instead, I'm going to say that torque is a bit like having a wife and power is a bit like having a girlfriend. So, this is my newly acquired Rover 45 diesel. It's a connoisseur model without the connoisseur bits. And look at it, fantastic. Starlight silver, probably the best colour you could have for one, and just about to be beefed up a bit. According to the car checker, it has 99 brake horsepower. So what will it be like with 140? Yeah. Disconnect the battery. And then with an 8mm spanner tool, that should be the one thing that will release the ECU. Battery, space. Plug it all in, do the battery back up, and then disconnect the MAF sensor. Next trick is to take the silver beast out. Because I washed this in the dark, I've noticed a few bits that I've missed as well, which is disappointing. Now you might argue that there are other more important things to do with this car rather than faffing around with the ECU. It's fine. That's the bit that doesn't need any work, so why am I doing this? Well, it's true, I would agree, and I will check the oil as soon as I get back in. It's a bit like doing a car review, this, isn't it? Well, actually, in a sense, I am. This Chaz Lee ECU I took out of Eric Zomberic, the more than retired Rover 25 in the yard, because of course that car is no more. But its brain still wants to live on, and do wonderful road things, and that's where this car has now got the opportunity to shine like a silver car that it is. Told you, best colour. It's just occurred to me that I could call this video Prince Andrew Gets a Zombie's Brain. In the 25 it really transformed its performance, it was amazing. The 25 did have that usual problem though with the, what do you call it, the MAF sensor going wrong, whereas this one doesn't. But I'm in third gear, let's go booty down. Yeah, it won't grip, will it? And again, the sound is different. Get the window open, sunroof open. Bit better, yeah. The difference between the 45 and the 25 is reasonably significant weight-wise. That's the only downside here. And still nice though. Yeah, it's still nice. I just wish it was dry so I could properly plant it one. Roundy roundabout. Even the diesel sticks. Right. No grip. This is what I really like actually. The 45 just looks like a proper old man's Rover, doesn't it? Yet it does that. That's torque. That's what torque is. That's what it's like being married. Oh, that is good actually. That's shocking. Promise you, I'll explain it to you one day. I can think of somewhere that'll be dry. Only a bit dry, but it will be dry. Yeah, it's not dry, is it? There won't be. So essentially what's happened here is I've turned this into a car that won't grip in the wet. At least it won't accelerate properly in the wet. It won't accelerate in the wet. I know it won't. No! So relying now on a dry day to test this out properly, and that's never going to happen. Anyway, another thing I may as well do whilst I'm at it is change the air filter, just in case it's a bit on the grotty side. And then of course I'll have even more power that I can't use. The air filter. What was I saying about Prince Andrew? Oh yeah, that's it. There are more important things that this car needs at the moment than just a better, more responsive ECU that makes it go quicker or makes it spin more. The most important thing to check is actually the oil, because I haven't checked it. I've just assumed that it's got enough in there, and you never know. It could have nothing in there. Well, it's got some in. It's not really a desirable colour. Look, that engine mount looks like a cat. The back seat simply won't fit the back of the car. Oh, still recording. And that is because this is a saloon car rather than a hatch. That in itself doesn't make a massive amount of sense, but the hatchback is designed to fold forward, whereas the saloon is designed not to move anywhere. So the hatchback has this metal plate and these hinges here. And the only way this is going to fit is if this is somehow taken off. I did think about cutting a groove into the metal there, to where the seatbelt buckles go. They could actually have somewhere to go, but that would be a bit too permanent, wouldn't it? Gently teasing the seat covering off, and it is gentle, because if it doesn't work I've got to put it back together again, and I don't really want that to happen. If there are any damage, if there is any damage, and there won't be, I'll make sure there isn't. I hope I don't have to put it back together again though, because it's awkward enough just getting this out. There, that does fit a lot better, but it only fits better. It's not completely fit. There's a gap. There's a gap there. So what I really need to do is remove all of the metal gubbins from the inside of this 75 seat and attach it to that. But it's not absolutely necessary today. What might be more helpful would be applying the use of a door card on this here and fixing this. The handle's not broken, but the little clip is, you see. So I've just got to go on a hunt for one of these. And there is a clip that I need, still attached to the door handle, because they're tricky to get out without breaking. Oh, that's a bit loose, isn't it? Why is that so loose? Hang on. Ah, right. Yeah, oh, I see. There's a couple of screws missing there. Hello, I'm Mustard, and you know that, and that's why you've called, but I can't answer the phone right now because I'm driving. Yeah? Probably that car there, that Rover. That's what I'll be up to. When I'm not driving, try again. Well, I must admit that is it for the day. In fact, I've managed to get away with quite a long Saturday, considering really. It's already way beyond 3 o'clock. That wouldn't normally happen. I do like this car, you know, diesel, 45, silver. It doesn't sound that particularly exciting, does it? Especially as the interior has been swapped from the good stuff to not so good stuff. But now then, it's still damp outside, and it has been for days. But will I manage to get a little bit more grip this time? One thing is for sure, there's absolutely no point at all planting it in first gear, because it will just spin, and that's really it. See, it grips even in the wet. Just as you put your foot down, it slips again. Gosh, that's going nicely though. I am quite pleased with how it does go now with this Chaz Lee ECU in it. I'm impressed by the amount of extra fuel that's going through as well. Little confession to make actually. I put £20 worth of diesel in this car when I picked it up from Scunthorpe last week, and then the other day I run out of diesel. I genuinely did. The fuel light had only just come on, and I thought with these ones usually the fuel light comes on and gives you loads and loads of warning, and if your fuel light comes on, it's because you're going down a hill and you've got quite a lot still left in there. Now maybe with a diesel pump, which it will be a diesel, oh no, wait a minute, they don't have a pump, they don't have an in-tank pump, do they? All you have is a sender. Right, maybe it's in a different place to what it is with the petrol one then. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it is to me, it might not be to you. Anyway, set off out of work, and as you come up and you go up, you basically got quite a steep part to set off with. And I did exactly the same thing in Eric. I thought there was fuel in Eric. As soon as I got out, put my foot down, all the fuel went to the back, pickups at the front, no go, and I had to roll it back. And I actually thought there was something wrong with it. This time, I just thought maybe I've run out of diesel, and sure enough, I did. These cars are really good on fuel if you're careful, but if you're not, they're not as good. Isn't that an obvious point? But to go back to economy mode with this, all I've got to do is plug back in the MAF. That's it. You don't have to swap the ECU back, you just plug the MAF back in. And I know it works on this one because it wasn't driving badly in the first place. So, will I do that? Not very likely, to be honest. Anyway, that is the end of this video about Prince Andrew and its remapping and a couple of other bits that have been replaced. Got to do the stereo yet. So thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and thank you for liking this video, and thank you for sharing this video if you have done, and if you haven't, then thank you when you do, and thank you very much for becoming a channel member, and thank you so much, and have a lovely new year, etc. That's a rare one these days.